All right, so I don't think anybody's coming in this early. I started not doing preloads. I started doing the what do they call it? The pre rolls for the ads. I started just letting that
Oh yeah,
happen.
pre-roll ads. Yeah.
They kind of go for like a few seconds. Oh, what's
Yeah, I think
up?
it's
Oh,
like 2 ads or something like that, 15 seconds each.
yeah, and they're
Ish.
just pre-rolled, and I think that they don't go again for another hour. Because I found that a lot of people are getting irritated by my whole, okay, let's just do 2 minutes of ads at the first part of the stream, and then like there's no more for the rest of the stream. So let's just roll with this, shall we? Um. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I'm game.
today we are talking to what is it? Bradley or Brady? I keep calling you
Brady.
Bradley.
Yep, you're
So
good.
sorry. Again,
That's all right.
I'm gonna get it right one of these days. Brady Litzinger.
Now you will.
Shut the hell up, Dot. Um, and he is our featured small streamer, fellow small streamer, because I'm also one. And we're going to be asking him some questions, kind of getting to know him for the sake of getting to know him. And so yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start off. Let me do something real quick because I keep dropping this everywhere. Okay. First off, can you tell us a little about yourself, like what you do for your work, hobbies, skills, background, favorite, whatever?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. No surprise because I've watched a few of yours now, and it's becoming a trend. I also work in IT.
Oh, okay.
So it's just I work in the school system. Yeah, I work in the school system, and I'm over a couple schools for IT work. Fix computers, fix laptops. Kids are not the most responsible people, so things constantly break. And then on the weekends, I have picked up delivering pizzas for Papa John's.
Okay, cool.
As far as hobbies go, I is a little strange to some people, but do you know what speedrunning is?
Yes, vaguely. I've watched a few clips, and it's usually people playing Mario 64. I got to be honest.
All right. Yep. Okay.
What's up, Arcanine?
There you go. So I do speedrunning, and a little, I guess, demo of that or a little snippet would be: think of a video game and think of running that video game as fast as possible, and try and beat your time over and over again. Achieving some sort of record.
Yeah.
And I guess that would just be my interest as well. That's basically what I do in my spare time, honestly, is I just boot it up and play games.
Do you have any that you have any brags, like I guess things that maybe you've already speed run, which ways you'd be like, oh, I've beat this in this amount of time, just for example?
Yeah, sure. So well, we talked about Mario 64. That's actually kind of what got me started into speedrunning, so I could do the 16-star route in like 22 minutes.
Holy crap.
And I currently hold 3 current world records in VR speedrunning. So
that's actually really freaking nice.
Yeah, it's
VR speedrunning though.
Yeah, so I believe my Moss one is like a 43. I have one in Star Wars Vader Immortal. And I have one in Moss Book 2 as well, which is the newest release.
So how's that motion sickness if you're speedrunning in VR?
Honestly, with the motion sickness, I get a lot of people, have motion sickness when they get into VR. I kind of forced myself into VR because I was obsessed with it. So when I first got a VR headset, I couldn't play games for 30 minutes. 30 minutes and I was out of it. So what I did was, and I think I tell a lot of people this when they have motion sickness in VR, keep pushing yourself about like 10 to 30 minutes more than you played previously. I know you're going to feel like sick to your stomach, but that's what helped me. I literally was like, okay, I played 30 minutes on Monday. I'm going to try for 40 minutes on Tuesday. And I just basically build up a tolerance on that.
I'm picturing you in my head, like you're like pulling the VR headset off going,
Yep. That's honestly, it's like you're dizzy, you're disoriented, and you're about ready to fall over.
Oh hell, they call it, what is it? VR legs is what I heard it nicknamed among the community.
Yep. No, that's the perfect name for it, honestly. It's just when you're not used to, because you're blind basically, you see a screen in front of you and then it covers your whole entire vision so you cannot see anything around you.
Yeah. So, let's see. We'll go on to question number 2. So what was it that got you into streaming to begin with?
So what got me into streaming to begin with is actually just a bunch of friends. Me and a bunch of friends were playing video games, and we were in, college. This is when I guess I could say I took streaming a little bit more serious in a way. We used to play a bunch of games in like a game room up in our college, like mostly fighting games. So like, you got your 2D fighters, you got Smash. More games like that, Mario Kart, and just have a good time with that. And so that's kind of where I started off. And then I didn't really take off a little bit on that side, but it opened the door for some other possibilities. That being, I was able to like commentate events, and actually commentating events is actually kind of what brought me into streaming more, because I've obtained like the skill to not only talk in front of a camera, but like a live audience sometimes.
Oh, okay. So you know about presentation and like how to compose yourself, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And it honestly helps. The more you do it, the easier it is. I know some people have like stage fright, or in most cases in streamers, camera fright, just like trying to stare at a camera. But that's sort of kind of what got me to get involved in streaming, because I had a friend of mine say, hey, you should, get into streaming because, you've been commentating and it's sort of the same thing, but you're just playing a game and talking into a camera rather than, talking to a bunch of people at the event.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, that's but like the exact moment, like you knew you wanted to be a streamer, like what was that? Like,
oh
like,
gosh. So I'll give this 2 parts, right? So the first part was, when I was, I guess, a teenager at the time, I saw streaming as, what a lot of people at the time saw streaming as is like, oh my gosh, I can make a lot of money, playing video games, right? Sure. But quickly I found out how hard it was, to retain an audience and things of that nature. But just recently, I'd say 2 years ago. 2 years ago is about when I said I am going to take streaming as like, and I'm going to treat it like a part-time job, to where, and this is kind of where I decided on my brand and, to do speed running with my streams, is so where I kind of took it seriously. I gave myself a schedule. I, stuck to some days and streamed. And what actually just kind of pulled it all together was, I guess, the speedrun community itself. Was I just started speedrunning VR games, and, I had people generally coming into my chat and, kicking it off. And it kind of like, during COVID, obviously, 2 years ago, you couldn't really talk to people.
No, not really.
So streaming was kind of like my way of socializing. So I was able to talk with people while I enjoyed playing games at the comfort of my own home.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not calling that sad. You sad. I'm saying that like it's a sad situation that like it did crop up a year ago, and I've noticed it as being a trend across several people that I've already interviewed, where it's like, because of COVID and everything that went down with that, the sad part being that was the only way we were able to we were completely able to socialize, in a sense. So, locked indoors, couldn't really do much.
Yeah, and it was pretty much at the time the only outlet of, I guess, live conversations outside like a phone call, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. So that was, you're kind of just pigeonholed right into you wanted to do extra. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did want to gloss over something else, and that was your name. Originally, I knew you as Blitz VR, which was like the contraction, I guess, of your first and last name.
Hey, there you
in
go.
a
You
way.
figured that out.
Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
sure enough. So that's where that part, I guess, version of your name came from. But you since decided to go back to your full name, or is this like a nickname?
No,
Or,
this is actually like my full name now. So I guess let's backpedal a little bit. When I first wanted to become Blitz VR, right? As most content creators in the VR space, the only real way you could get noticed at the time or get noticed quick was if you had VR at the end of your name. So that'll be established there.
True.
Blitz obviously comes from my, my first initial and my, first four initials of my last name, and that actually came from high school. You know, when they give you like a username in high school and stuff like that to like log into things, that was sort of like my username throughout all of high school. And I was like, that sounds really, really cool.
It's interesting that it just kind of rolled into that though, because usually everybody else, your first initial and your last name, first four letters or whatever, is always something dumb. Like mine was Mbake, and I was okay.
That sounds dope.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
So, anywho, so yours, I thought your name was because like I'd heard before that you'd done speedruns, and I was like, well, blitzing through something is like a speedrun. You would think maybe that's where it came from. I was way off the mark there.
Yeah, I was very fortunate enough that my name could kind of blend together. Not only that, to where it actually formed a real world, a real word that meant, fast or, something to engage in. It's, a football play and all these things. It's just like, I actually, funny story, when people saw my name, they, were always talking about, oh, you named yourself after a football play, or you named yourself after a character. If you've ever played in Rainbow Six Siege, there's a character called Blitz, and I used to play that a lot. And they're like, oh, you got your name from that. And then I sort of just kind of rolled into it. So whenever somebody else had like the tag Blitz, I could always compete them, right, for the name, because I'm like,
yeah.
Yours didn't come from your original name, so it's like this is my initials.
You could sort of gatekeep on the word blitz there because you're like, hey,
yeah,
mine has validity.
Unfortunately, so here comes like the, I guess, drama, right?
Oh no.
So with the name, so during the past year, I would say there was a, I guess, Gorilla Tag, TikToker or streamer or what, so I didn't get involved in it, but his name was Blitz, right? And so it spawned a whole bunch of other Blitz types names in the VR space, and I'm like, this isn't good. And I was like, I thought to myself, do I really want to give up like the name Blitz for, the sake of my brand, or, keep it because it's the only brand I've built on? And then I thought to myself, there's only one Brady Litzinger. So if I just swap now, it's going to be an easier transition later.
Yeah, yeah. Although some people might call that doxing yourself. So be mindful that your
true.
address doesn't get out there. Then again, how many Brady Litzingers can there be? Like if you Google that, how many would pop up?
Yeah.
Because what if you were the only Litzinger? You know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely true. But I thought to myself, other streamers, like other, I guess, big type streamers, I always see them like their name. They chose to use their name and their face. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad idea, because your brand can never change because you are the only one. Even if it goes south sometimes, you are the only one.
True, true. Well, just a quick skim over. It's not anything immediately jumping out at me. I just Googled it real quick just to see. Oh, no, Arcanon. I'm not 100% sure on that. The one that I saw was Brody Litzinger. Like, swap the A for an O.
I found his LinkedIn.
But yeah,
hey, there you go. Well, there you go. You found my LinkedIn.
You can hire him now. That's where people typically go anyway
he's
for
too
jobs.
far away.
Yeah, I do. Obviously before I came to streaming and got my job and everything, I do, 3D modeling and 3D rigging. So I know that's really useful in the VR space. So if anybody, happens to be watching this, hit me up.
That's awesome. So,
I mean, I found his Facebook too, but
okay, is it the Brody one or can we stop
no,
doxing
it's
him?
Brady. I didn't say anything. I just said I found it.
Okay. So I'm just saying I'm gonna quit because that's kind of creepy. So
probably puts it on Google.
Well, so that pretty wild. So
found where you work too, by the way. I won't say anything.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, that's fine.
Dot is one of those people that you're just like, hey, find me some security holes, and then he'll be like, okay, where am I going? And then just point, and he'll shoot. So
it's Brandon, your boss?
Okay, stop. Dot, knock it off. So there was a question I had. Damn it. Give me a second. It'll come back to me. We were talking about Arcanine. Do you know Arcanine? Because he's in chat.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question. And the other one comes back to me. That's great. So what are your likes and dislikes about streaming so far?
Okay. So as far as, I guess we could start with the bad and end with the good, right? So as far as dislikes go, pretty much all streaming platforms that I've looked at, when it comes to the VR space, we're a little like shafted, right? There's outside of searching for, the direct game you want to see, there's really no VR category that I personally think should be, because I don't think VR is really big enough at the state right now to where it needs to be for us to like just go under a single game and stream that game, at least at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend. Like, I'd have to look up Twitch because I don't know how their algorithm works. But
yeah, they have a hashtag for it, but most of the time when you hashtag VR, you're mostly gonna get like VTubers most of the time, and almost 90% of it is VR chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've looked into it a little bit, but I guess that would be my dislike about it, at least the platform wise. Streaming wise, I would have to say there's really no for at least the Quest 2, there's really no like mainstream setup for streaming virtual reality on OBS or anything like that, because there's no way to like comfortably get your game to the screen or your chat inside your headset without going through like some PC things.
Yeah, you have to go through, what is it, Steam, then you have to get a Live and all this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Now VR on PC is perfectly fine, but for the mass majority of us, we do not have that.
True. Like, what if you did want to is it possible? I mean, I've never even considered this. Is it possible to stream right from the Quest 2, like natively? Probably not.
Yes. No. Yeah. Well, there is. I actually use a program called Air Receiver on my computer. That cost me like $3 on like the Microsoft Store, and it allows you to mirror any program onto that screen. So I use that for my Quest. I know a lot of people use like, the Oculus /casting, but I prefer to use Air Receiver just because it's convenient and you don't have like a browser window open.
So pretty much you're streaming the headset to your phone, and then you're streaming from your phone to Twitch.
No. Headset straight to the computer.
Oh, no, never mind. I was thinking about something totally different.
Yeah.
I was thinking like being completely absent of computer.
Now, something that I like about streaming is the fact that you can meet so many new people, and especially like in whatever space that you're in. So like I constantly tell people collabs when you are streaming are very, very important, even if you are small, because you are taking one small community and combining it with another, and you just keep building and growing off of that. That is the one thing I really, really like about streaming is that you can meet people in your same field who have the same interest. And so therefore, you know, who knows, you might make a new friend or two, right, along the way.
That's very true. There's a lot of times, I mean, bigger streamers will tell you don't worry about networking, because then eventually people that like your content will eventually float to your content. However, I've also personally found that, like, say somebody raids into you, there's an off chance that, like, you're playing a game right that moment, or maybe you habitually play a game, that somebody coming in that raid is just like, hey, I really love that game. And so they'll stick around to watch you play it, and then they'll assess if they like your personality and yada yada yada. But either way, it gives you that window, it gives you that door, which is why rating is actually important in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, I also miss the host function too.
Yeah, I don't know why they took that out. I mean, so strange.
Yeah.
Mommy chimes in and says, I don't stream, but I've made great friends. Yeah, as a viewer.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Honestly, as small streamers, obviously bigger streamers and things like that, you can't really make that connection because the chat's just flying 100 miles an hour. So you kind of just have to do your own thing while it's going. But with, you know, us smaller streamers, there's going to come a time to where, you know, eventually it's a sad thing to, like, think about a lot of the times, but there's going to come a time when, like, you know, your favorite streamer gets too big. Right. And they might try and do some things here and there, but if they won't be able to even read chat half the time. One of those, I guess, people, can I shout somebody out or no?
Yeah. I mean, we usually do that at the end, but you can go ahead. I mean, it's fine.
We'll just as this scenario, that we're talking about it. One of my good buddies, J-Bar, or Beer and Headshots, as you might know him.
Headshots, yes.
He was really small. And then he just shot up through TikTok and became almost instantly famous overnight. And, you know, he had to change a couple things on his stream and things like that. He could still, like, talk here and there, but it's like a lot of the times his chat's just flying. So.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people that too. Like, I was watching 36er back in the day, and he was doing top 1 streams. I
used to watch him.
He was small when I first started watching, but then, like, before he left for a while, his chat was just blowing by, and he was trying his best, which is hard in VR. He was trying his best to address everyone and talk to everybody and be more personal. Mm-hmm. What's up, J-Dog? Got J-Dog in the chat. Yeah. How's your night, man? So, yeah, I was gonna say, Mommy, how are you doing? How are you doing, by the way? I meant to ask you as well. So typically, whenever they get that big, it's kind of sad, because I want to say it's around if you have probably 50 consecutive viewers that are also chatting actively, there seems to be a threshold when people start talking a lot, and then you just, you know, I guess as a streamer, what do? You just go about your business and just
ignore it. Yeah.
Pick people out, like, every so often, like, oh, hey, you know,
look at maybe one message every so often and see it, like, just randomly glance your eye over and do that. And the truth about it is the more you struggle to read chat, the less viewers you're going to retain, because, you know, they're not going to be interested because you're just going to be struggling to read chat.
That's very true. That's a good point, actually. So anybody out there that's watching that's another streamer, keep that in mind, because that's a good point. So let's see. Let's move on to the next one. So, what has been your worst experience so far, and also your best?
Let's see. My worst experience. Well, the more.
I have a question. Worst experience, as in, what do you mean by that, Ecto? Do you mean, like, stream-wise, or
as a
like
streamer,
life-wise, or just people-wise on the stream? There's a lot of different things with worst.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about as a streamer. Like, this is, you know, we're interviewing streamers, so maybe I should specify that.
No. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So as a streamer, I guess the worst thing for me, would be, or at least that has been used to a long time ago. You know, obviously everybody's done it once in a while when you stream to 0 people. I feel like that is the most difficult thing to combat mentally, because you know, you want that number to go up and you want to talk and engage with people, but you know, I'd say that's probably the hardest part when you get into streaming is stop looking at that number. Like put a piece of tape over it and stream as if you're 1,000 people are watching you at all times.
I have to 100% agree on that one. That's actually how I got past it too. Is just because otherwise you get sort of downtrodden about it. Like, ugh.
You have to. And then when you see like that number jump up to 1 and then, nobody talks, but you're trying to engage with them. Yeah. Ooh, wait, no, that actually, okay. So I thought about something else, and I know a lot of people
Don't throw that up my
in
face,
the VR space do this, and I have nothing against it, but at least for me, it did not work. It just got really annoying for me. Text to speech. I think that might be the worst experience I've ever had.
I hated personally watching it. It's annoying.
Well, at the same time, for VR, it was almost necessary because otherwise you never knew somebody was in
there's literally two options. You either have to look through the little nose piece in your headset, look up like this and try and see chat, or you had text to speech. But I'd say that's probably one of the worst experiences for me because every time I would try and, focus on my stream or, make content, I'd have like a couple sentences read over what I just said and everybody missed what I was saying. But that's probably the worst experience I had. Now, as far as the best, I had 2 experiences actually that probably basically I kind of just broke down, as far as the best experiences. One being, our fellow beloved Agony Pain in our VR and Pancakes community. I actually didn't at the time, I couldn't afford a computer or something like that, and he donated a good chunk of money to help me finish off my computer.
Oh, wow.
And,
that's massive support. That's incredible.
I also, yeah, there's some things that I want to bring back as well because, I made a promise to, and I guess I'll, put that here. I plan on bringing, I used to do charity events in the VR space for tournaments and speedrunning that, I kind of feel guilty about because I quit. But it's coming back this year, promise. But the second best moment that I have is I actually sent you that first video or whatever, just if you want to pull up the first 20 seconds of it.
Sure. I mean, I was going to say we'll gloss over them and we could re-mention that when we visit it.
Sure. So I was actually hit up out of the blue, because I have at this point I have dedicated my time. I have pretty much dedicated my time to Moss speedrunning and only Moss speedrunning in VR.
Oh.
And I've just been grinding away at it for several months, and I finally landed world record, and I kept it, and I was, getting all these tricks because I basically pioneered most of the tricks in Moss VR.
Oh, no
I spent a good 500 hours probably in that game.
Geez, so when people reflect back as to how to speedrun a certain thing or how to glitch through it, which is actually something J-Dog likes doing as well. He's sort of a speedrunner fellow. In Moss VR, it's a game where you're I guess it's what is it? It's not a third person. It's kind of like storybook vision, kind of. It's weird.
Yeah, I'd call it third person ish. You're still you're your own separate character, and then you have a mouse.
So. Mm-hmm. And you had to perfect those glitches, so the whole time you're just I'm gonna stare at this fucking mouse for 3 hours.
Yeah, I had to physically come up with them. I had to glitch hunt is what it's called, and trying to basically what it amounts to is almost insanity, trying something over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So if something feels like I could do it, for instance, if there's a cliff that I know I could probably jump to, I'm going to try it about 500 times before I,
if it's close
figure
enough,
out whether it's worth it or not.
Maybe it'll work if I just tweak my controller a little bit.
Exactly. And so the point I'm going with this is my best moment probably ever in my entire life, actually, would be I was featured on Devs React on the IGN official YouTube.
Oh.
For the Devs React to Moss VR speedruns.
That's the first video sent me, and guys, stay tuned for that one because we'll be popping that up here in a little while.
Oh my gosh, when Polyarch, who made the game, when they first hit me up about that, I am what I am now. Like, I was speechless. My mouth was open. It's just like I was staring at my phone.
What?
I was literally staring at my phone and I could not look away. It was just because I never thought something that I would do would end up, going viral on the internet, right?
Yeah, an IGN right there. Shit, yeah, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
that is definitely something I can imagine just made your freaking day.
Oh, absolutely! It made my whole year, and that was during like COVID and everything. I was just like this. It was everything that I wanted.
So I guess that brings us into the next question, because like you mentioned, like you did speedrun and whatnot. What kind of content can viewers expect when they visit your channel? Like, what do you hone in on certain things, or do you kind of like branch out? Is it only speedrunning, or do you do like what varied amount?
Right.
Limited. Like.
So while I'm talking, I'm gonna send you something in Discord.
Sure.
But so essentially, what I could boil down my content to is I am the VR speedrunner, and I say the in like bold letters. There is no other streamer that does what I do. Most speedrunners stick to one game, while I am currently on, I guess, a challenge or a quest, you might say, to speedrun every single VR game that is on the VRspeedrun.com website. And currently, I think there's like 90 games total. And that's just like a document, if you want to flash that up on screen, of
Sure.
all the games that I have done, or
Let's check that out.
And
Google Docs.
It's basically my challenge for 2023 that I've made for myself and I'm fully committed to. I've had help from other VR speedrunners. They're teaching me how to run games. I'm currently actually learning Half-Life Alyx right now.
You've documented your times beside them.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And
so until the library gets fucking massive, you're gonna crack her through. Wait. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what you can expect on my content currently this year. I also plan to do guides on a lot of these games too. So if like there's time to do like a guide, if to get people interested in speedrunning, because my end goal, because we are like, I call it a niche of a niche. I am VR, I am speedrunning, and I'm doing that together. So that's already like a niche of a niche, right?
Yeah.
Speedrunning is already a niche of gaming. I'm going to add VR on top of that. And so that I just want to spread awareness that we exist, we are here, and we grind just like everybody else in the speedrun community. And that is my end goal of 2023. I want to have all of these videos out and available to people saying, hey, this might be the game that you want to speedrun.
Okay.
A second thing that you can find on my channel this year, and this is a promise. So, do you know what a bounty is? Essentially,
no.
for gaming. Okay. All right. I'll explain it in simple terms here. So, a bounty in speedrun world is, I basically set a dollar amount on like a world record or a time, and if somebody hits that dollar amount or that time, I mean, they get money basically based off their time. So I also plan to do speedrun challenges to where it's like I'm going to probably choose like a random game nobody's ever speed ran before, or something very obscure, and I'm just going to put a bounty on it and watch people try and break the record.
Trying to break your record? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It was just a random record, yeah.
Okay.
And just kind of make content off of that.
So pretty much what you're doing is you're kind of pioneering the speedrunning group in. Okay.
I am the first of its kind, honestly, and I will take the mantle on that one. It's like I talked to a few buddies of mine, and one of them just straight out said, like, you need to capitalize on this because there's nobody doing what you do. And so that also comes with some downsides too. There's no guides, right? I don't have anybody to look to do that. But that's the content that you'll see off of my channel in the year 2023, which is right now.
Battle Sister, that's a good one. Dragon of Hatred says. Personally, I would like to see you do Alex Half-Life, because that.
I'm currently working on it. I actually I'm doing the second half of that tomorrow.
Sick.
The world record holder Lemons is teaching me how to speedrun Half-Life Alex. I did half of it on Friday. We had some internet issues, so I couldn't finish it. So we decided to reschedule for Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm doing the second half of Half-Life Alex.
Are you beholding to Twitch, or do you post anywhere
Twitch.
else like TikTok or YouTube?
So I stream on Twitch, and then after I'm done streaming on Twitch, I will personalize content to my YouTube channel. Same as my Twitch, not Blitz, I'm even saying it now. Brady _ Litzinger is going to be on my YouTube, and I already have a few things there. I also have a whole video explaining my whole speedrun challenge. If you want to get a deeper meaning of that for whoever wants to go there.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, within the last questions, you kind of answered the next one, and that would be like, what would you consider unique to your channel that sets it apart from others? I would definitely call the niche within the niche a definite unique to your channel, because I don't know, like, you can't search that anywhere on TikTok or Twitch rather. So definitely that's a hell of a niche to fill too. Yeah, and there is, like I said, there's other VR speedrunners, but they only stick to their game. Like, they're only speedrunning their game, and I want to build, I guess if you're playing Monopoly, right, I want to build horizontally instead of vertically. Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, that answers 7 pretty quickly. So, let's see, the next one is, where do you see your channel in so many years from now? Like, what would you add, remove, improve, whatever? Absolutely. So, honestly, the end of 2023, I plan to at least take this, like, fully part-time, hopefully full-time, right? I want to see my YouTube channel hit 1,000. Once I hit 1,000, then I get monetized, and then I could start, paying for editors, things like that, making my content better. Because like we established earlier, I am the base of what I am doing. I'm the base of VR speedrunning as far as content goes, and so I want to go as fast as I can to accomplish that goal before somebody else beats me to it at the time. And so far, I'm doing really well at it. But yeah, in a whole year, I'd expect at least 1,000 on YouTube. And I'm not worried about too much about partner on Twitch, because I'm also thinking about, once I hit 1,000 on YouTube, I might do a swap, because I actually feel that streaming as a whole, I feel like YouTube's just gonna take over Twitch in the long run. Yeah, there's a rumor in the weeds about how YouTube is better for small streamers and Twitch is better for big streamers. So, yep. Yeah, I full-heartedly agree with that statement, and the main reason being is nobody is searching for you on Twitch or YouTube, for that matter, but what they can search for is YouTube videos and YouTube content. If you link your content to your stream and you produce the same type of content, people will find you faster than if you started on Twitch. Very true. It's very true. So that is definitely where do you want to go from here, though, like at this point? So at this point right now, I would honestly, eventually I do want to do this full time. Like, okay. I want to be able to be involved in, the VR speedrun community. I want to be like the forefront of that community, and be an established member in a way, to where somebody can come up to me and ask questions, or if they need help speedrunning a game. I also see myself in the future, once I have speedran all of these games, I'm actually going to be providing a coaching service. To where I will coach people how to speedrun games, or like VOD reviews. Like, they'll send me their video, I'll review it on stream, and it'll be, like
$5-10 or something like that. It's like kind of like a side job on top of that. And I can also make a YouTube video about it as well. That's where I see myself in the future. Obviously, improve. I would love to engage with a lot more people, but at the same time, speedrunning takes a lot of your time. VR is hard to see chat. Combine both of those together, I don't see that as the future of my channel, even though like I take some time to, go over and read chat.
Dot said that, about the whole voice to text is kind of annoying, but what if they made better voice chat, like voice text to speech, you know what I mean? Like more actual vocal, not so whiny.
Yeah. Like, I think the only way to do that, in my opinion, the only way to fix it is if I can block it from being heard from OBS and only have it heard in like an earpiece.
Ooh, that is possible. You
like
can do it,
that.
You can do it with Media Player. You could, yeah, it's possible. It's not easy though. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, exactly. On top of all the other hard stuff VR presents in streaming.
Yeah, but there's a way to pipe it so only you hear it, and it is, dang it, I'll have to look it up, and maybe we'll talk about that later because it's something I'm kind
of absolutely
maybe researching as well.
Rubber duck it and
sure
everything else.
Absolutely.
But as far as like what to add to my content, I want to make it so where I can make an easy YouTube video. I want to essentially combine both of my content to where it's like I am recording for YouTube, but at the same time try and keep an eye on chat and things like that. But at the end of the day, if I think it'll mess up a YouTube video or something like that, I'll keep pressing forward. But I think that'll cater my content better for growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially as small streamers, which when we get done with it, it's saved to VOD automatically, and then we'll go into the video producer, we'll see the VOD there, and you can export to YouTube, and it does it all lickety split. However, if you wanted to like cut pieces out and all that stuff, it's a little tricky because you have to go and do the highlights.
It doesn't allow you, yeah. So for new streamers out there wanting to make YouTube content, a free service that I use is DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, nice.
So I use that service to edit my videos. Pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, there's a lot more videos on that than there is any paid program.
So you download your VODs, or?
Yeah, I download my VODs and I keep them in a folder, and I drag those VODs into the program. I cut them up as I see fit, add music, add effects, etc.
Nice, slicey dicey. Good deal. Well, next question is, if Jacksepticeye or some mega streamer dropped into your channel, I'm talking, it doesn't matter who it is, I'm talking about like just somebody that's probably got like a bajillion freaking followers, a lot of viewers, and they just dropped in your channel, donoed $1,000. What are you spending that money on, and why?
All right, so I'm gonna actually, I was thinking about this question for a long time, but I'm just gonna be straight forward and to the point. I'm gonna split it up into 3 ways. So currently, as I got out of college and things like that, I'm left with a lot of college debt. Third of that's going to that.
Bam.
So a third of that is going to college debt. Another third is going to start paying for an editor. I do feel like if I paid for an editor early on, my content will grow faster, therefore giving me a stable income on YouTube. And then I can kind of keep cycling the YouTube money towards the editor, and it kind of flows from there.
Gotcha. So you're saying if he produces like good attention-grabbing content, and it's gonna cycle back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's gonna siphon back in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third, I would actually kickstart my bounty, program that I want to put in speedrunning. Yeah. I will probably put if somebody did that, I would honestly probably put around $250 to $500 bounty on a single game, and that kind of money in the VR space, especially speedrunning. Not to mention there is no bounty system currently in the VR speedrunning space. There is in other speedrunning realms, but not in VR. That I feel like I would probably grab every single one of those VR speedrunners and they would all swap to that game.
So there's somebody that popped up in chat, Red Phazon, said ask him about any of his friends who would split some of the money. I'm guessing this is a friend of yours.
I do. Yeah, that's a college buddy.
Nice.
No, but that's what I would do to kick that off. And on top of that, my end goal really is when I do the bounty programs, there is no centralized VR speedrun game.
Yeah.
Currently, everybody's spaced out. Nobody's really hovering around one game. But if you look into the other video game space, there's like Mario 64 where there's like thousands and thousands of runners. And I use that as an example all the time, but there's nothing like that in the VR space.
I was gonna say, I was just about to ask, branching off that question a little bit, is there any game at all that's like popular to speedrun, or is it just Moss? Like, because apparently that seems to be a thing.
No, actually, that's actually one of the least popular.
Wow.
Holding around about 7 people, 7 or 9 people ish.
Which was number one?
The most popular, I think, and I've gone through it several times. I think the most popular might actually be Rec Room.
What would you speedrun in Rec Room? I guess there's like those mini games.
Like the story mode games that Rec Room provides. Like, you got Jumbotron and the Isles, the Cursed Isles or whatever. It's like the story mode games that Rec Room themselves have made. They're probably the most popular. Now, something that has recently been catching up is Gorilla Tag. Gorilla Tag is
that's a tag game though.
Yeah, so there's like speed runs for, tagging everybody, getting tagged first, staying alive the longest, things like that. And that's really popular in that space right now. They've even, modded obstacle courses in there now, so where you can like speed run obstacle courses. So like it's no longer a tag game, you're actually running.
Oh. Now that'd be cool.
Yeah, and so that game's been really popular. But I'd say the first mainstream game that put VR speedrunning on the map was probably Super Hot. I think. At least that's what got me into VR speedrunning. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing until I saw Super Hot.
Yeah, that game is pretty sick. Like, I saw that and I was like, that's just like the Matrix.
Yeah.
So the next section was gonna go over like exactly what we were talking about earlier for everybody who stayed tuned. I have the clip here that you were speed running, and you said that to watch it to like how many seconds you said, or
20 seconds. 20 seconds. It's just like obviously it's like a 40-minute long video, so I'm not expecting everybody to sit here for a good 40 another minutes. So 20 seconds, just so people can hear it.
Sure. Let me try to do something here because I've got a certain way that I was watching YouTube videos on here, and I'm like, well, I've got this new system. I should try it out, just, well, no, it's not on this page. So what I'll have to do is like the old-fashioned way. But I'll get it going eventually. I'm going to have to drag this over your face. Sorry.
That's okay.
Maximize it. Or, well, resize it anyhow. So this is... Jeez, this is terrible. I can't... Because whenever I zoom in full screen, you're completely out of view. Everybody's out of view. But whenever I minimize, it's like, oh, you're seeing a bunch of crap. So
I got you.
Let me resize this differently. Yes, there we go. That'll work. It might come across a little janky, but we're getting there. So here is you're speed running. I guess, and the devs were watching you.
I think
yes. So the developers are basically they're watching me speed run the game. And they're talking about all the things that they're seeing me do. It's actually quite funny if you want to like stick around, or some people want to stick around for the video and watch it themselves, because you'll hear a lot of the times it's like, hey, that room that you spent hours making, well, this guy just completed it in like 2 seconds. So it's just like, it's a lot of comments like that is really fun.
And we're here to check it out. You want to say hi, bro?
So
How's it going, everyone?
Is there any surprise
So
moments?
We're gonna be watching Moss speedrun. Moss is a VR game,
not that I
and
can
this
think of.
is
Honestly,
IGN's
off the top of
first
my head,
Devs
I
Direct
didn't
for a
have
VR
any of
game.
those prepared.
So
Oh, that's fine.
we're
Um,
just resetting
but
things to get us
I will
going.
say,
We're just gonna
I
flip
guess
the
I
story
can
because
I can sort
story
of
doesn't matter
like
in speedruns.
towards the
Danny, you've
end
mean,
if
haven't
that
watched
helps.
any of Blitz.
That's fine. We can just consider this, you know, a clip, and then like,
I've just heard you guys.
if anybody does want to go
talk
see
about how
this,
everything
I'll
runs
provide the
through
link
money.
in chat.
I mean, he took my money.
It's
And
YouTube,
it's
so
securely his at this point.
So I'll throw that up in chat if anybody who does want to go watch that speed run, check that out. And let's see here. We're gonna look at some of your. I guess this is from your Twitch.
Yeah, the other
And-
two are from my Twitch. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So these will be a little bit
To take
Okay.
any damage during this fight
not
because
taking any damage.
I am God Gamer.
Yeah.
and therefore,
it's
I will not take any damage.
it's kind of funny on that clip. So in that clip specifically, I am currently working
God,
on
that
a
was close.
challenge
Actually scared
to
me.
beat
No.
Moss Book 2 without taking any damage, and so far it's not going well.
Okay.
I've probably reset the game about
Alright.
12 times now.
You know what? I wasn't
halfway
even
through.
scared. I
Um,
wasn't even scared.
and
in
I'm trying to complete the whole
slightest
game without taking a
to
single bit
take
of
any
damage.
damage during this fight.
Did you end up not taking damage though?
No,
mean,
I
it
haven't
didn't
completed it
look
yet.
like it. Oh, okay.
No, not in that clip. In that clip, I didn't. I almost did. That's why I was like, you know,
okay.
I was like, you know, hyping myself up, and he actually like was like a few pixels off from hitting me, and I would have just thrown my controller. I would have. But so far, that challenge is not complete yet. I do have plans on completing that once I get a foothold on it.
Gotcha. Okay. The next is, let's see, I've got, I think this is, you're defeating, what is, Space Dragon.
Yeah, so
ending?
Space Dragons, it's the ending of the game.
come
It
on.
was a speedrun contest that I was actually a part
Yes.
of. And I currently won and got the world record in the speedrun contest. They're actually, you know, sending me over some stuff, which is really cool. The devs themselves actually, you know, were supporting the speedrun community, and they're like, hey, whoever can get the fastest time in, you know, 8 weeks, it was an 8-week challenge. And
Wow.
I just kept shaving down my time over and over again. I think the times were like, my time was like 11 something.
Yeah, 11:23. I got it.
11:23. Somebody, the second place was like 15:23, and third place was like 20 minutes and something. Like it wasn't even close.
So
Yeah.
Space, what is that? Is it called Space Dragon?
Space Dragon Unchained. It's like Space Dragon is
Okay.
is its thing, and it's actually a newer Quest game that come out. It was originally on the PC but ported over to the Quest. And the best I could describe it is you're floating dragons trying to save the big dragon, and destroying planets and spaceships along the way.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. To explore that sometime. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So, let's see. Point on to 11 here. Do you have any like shout outs to fellow streamers, perhaps members of your community that support or inspire you?
Yeah, I actually have a few. So obviously, you know, I have my main big supporters that we kind of came over to VR and Pancakes together as a unit. That being Just Minty, Arcanine, and Hobo Legend. We all came over together in the VR and Pancake community. I kind of drug them along with me if I. So
Yeah, Arcanine earlier was talking about in chat how you built your computer. He says.
Oh yeah, he built my computer. Yeah. Yeah, he gave me some parts for that, and I bought it as well. Honestly,
J-Dog, I didn't
What's
notice you did that. I just noticed J-Dog said all new viewers, welcome to Ecto Helix's stream, does everything spooky, shooty, or strange. Make sure to drop a follow. Big ups to you, man. So, so about your friends that you said that came in with your Arcanon and Red Phazon, I would assume.
Red Phazon is one of my college buddies. He didn't come into the stream team, but he's definitely one of my big supporters from college. You know, I share my ideas with him all the time, and we share content ideas back and forth between each other.
Hell yeah.
But the main people that came over with me are Minty, Hobo, and Arcanine. We kind of just came over in a pack, and they're probably like one of my biggest supporters of the channel. You know, we talk about ideas. You know, if something's not going right, you know, we try to fix it and kind of talk about our ideas over there. Obviously,
that's actually a good way to do.
I wouldn't be here today, obviously, in the VR and Pancake space if it wasn't for Seven, Helix VR. You know, yeah, it's
Red
so
Phazon
I wouldn't have met all
says.
you nice people.
Red
Here in
Phazon
the
says,
VR space.
spoiler warning, you will not get any pancakes by joining them. Found that out the hard way. So, yeah, we don't have any pancakes. That's just a ruse. It's kind of like whenever on South Park, whenever Cartman promised punch and pie. Everybody showed up. Where's a punch and pie? Oh, there ain't none. Sorry. Harkonnen says, I am a pancake. And Red Phazon also says, we also suffer together in League. So you play League of Legends, or?
Yeah, I do. In my off time, I choose not to. So this is just my pet peeve, and my brand. I choose not to stream anything that's not VR. And
So
I just game on the side when I want to. Yeah, that's just a personal thing for me because I don't want to split my audience even further than it already is.
Yeah, you want to keep it kind of centric in your.
Yeah,
like, so when they come to you, they know what they're after.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've honestly contemplated making just an alt account that I just don't tell anybody about, and just like stream whatever the heck I want on that account.
I mean, here's my thoughts on that, and you just take it as a grain of salt. Generally,
Sure.
if you have a schedule, like say on a Tuesday that you stream this, and on a Thursday you stream that, then people will show up for those selected things. They know that you're coming on those days. Or it could be completely freaking random where, you know, that they just know that maybe you're focusing on two different things. I feel like, you know, your friends here or newcomers would ultimately stick around, and you may even cross some over. Like say if you do stream League, for example, and then maybe some people came in and they're watching you play League and they're just like, oh wow. And then you mentioned during that time, you're like, oh, by the way, I also do this. And then you could get people to cross over onto the dark side, you know, watch some VR speedrunning. And they're just like, that's a thing? And then they'll go see it. You know what I mean? Some people are just completely ignorant of that. And
no, yeah.
You would open their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. They can see kind of both sides of the realm, right? But I have so much to do and so much to accomplish in this year alone. Maybe that's a project for another year. But in this year alone, like I have so much on my plate. Like you saw that big list, right?
Oh yes.
I haven't even done 1/3 of that list yet.
Red Phazon says, wait till League of Legends comes to VR and then he'll have no excuses.
All right, fair enough. If League comes to VR, then yeah, I'll probably be playing it on stream.
I think there's a way you could though. There's some kind of app that you can get. Okay. There's an app you can get.
Yeah, it's maybe basically like virtual desktop type thing to where it's like you play
I think that actually makes it 3D though. I thought there's like almost any video game you can just port to it and like it just plays it in 3D.
Oh, Vorpex.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I just couldn't think of what it was called.
Yeah, it definitely does that. The only downside is you can't see your keyboard.
Oh, that would suck, especially like you're trying to do the. I mean, I guess you'd have to muscle memory and be sitting there, but like I don't know, that'd be weird. That'd be so weird.
Yeah.
Like I want to see my ass get kicked like all over the map. That MOBA, VR. It hurts bad enough in 2 dimensions. Like bring it in 3.
Yeah, it's and you're talking about motion sickness, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, you mentioned some other. Let's see. How long have you known these fellas? If I'm asking. Like,
okay, so
you said high school on some of them, right?
Well, I've known Arcanine a good while. We'll just, I guess, leave it at that. But Minty, I've known about a year or two before college, so probably about going on maybe 7-8 years ago. So let's see, 23. Yeah, maybe like 6 or 7 years on Minty. 5 years on Phazon. What else did I mention? And Hobo, I actually met a good 3 years ago.
Hobo was the last fellow that I interviewed, and good-hearted fella in him too. And then
one of the best people I've met, honestly. Is
Arcanon's-
I got
says he knows you
introduced to
his
him.
whole life.
Okay. Oh, well, if he wants to give that away, sure. All right. But
I keep calling Arcanon. It's Arcanine. That's from the
it's
Pokemon.
It's Arcanine. Yeah, it's Arcanine.
Oh, I had okay.
Yeah, you got it right. But yeah,
they're selling you out in chat, man. No, he said, Red Phase, let's say we were born in the same hospital, bro.
No, that is not true. That's not true. He's trolling you now.
Maybe he's quoting
those years are pretty much accurate.
That's funny.
But yeah, Hobo in a nutshell, I met actually through a raid. Like we were talking about how raiding is, a good way of making connections. I actually was in somebody else's chat at the time, and they're like, "Let's raid this guy called Hobo Legends," and I just kind of stuck with him. He just his character, there was something about him that made me stay there. And so like every time he streamed, I kind of just went over to his stream and just kind of hung out.
I wonder, like, would you do collaborations, like with him or anybody? Okay.
Well, it's weird now because I've made that rule for myself.
Yeah.
I've kind of made the rule that I only want to do VR content on my channel. So whenever there is a collaboration non-VR, I won't stream. I will just go on their channel, and I have done that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you play Demio with us?
I did play Demio with you guys.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I was like, I could remember I was mispronouncing your name there too. And we played Demio with Brass, wasn't it? I could have sworn.
Yeah, I played Demio with Brass a couple times. Honestly, I've played Demio with so many people. You were probably one of them.
Yeah. Like, don't feel special, motherfucker. Wait.
No.
I just wonder if it was that night that I was getting everybody killed. I don't know.
I think I was watching. I think I was watching that day.
Oh, okay.
That I came in. But yeah, Demio's definitely one of those games. And especially like what we'll do a lot of the times is we'll find a game where it cross plays. So like Rec Room, VR Chat, games like that, to where it's like if we ever want to do a collab, we'll go to those games because console people can play with VR people.
True.
And,
very true.
We'll go that route. But as far as doing collabs on my channel, it's strictly VR. And recently, I've been collabing with VR speedrunners.
Oh.
They're teaching me how to run their game. I literally asked in their Discord, hey, I'm doing this challenge. If anybody's interested in helping me, we'll do a collab days and we'll set up stream days or whatever. I never thought I would get the response that I did. I got booked up within the first month.
Jeez.
Like, all my stream days were basically booked. I basically had to cut it off. I was like, holy crap, this is too much. So that's what I'm currently doing right now, and that's actually why I said, I'm doing Half-Life Alyx tomorrow with Lemons, the world record holder.
Oh, okay.
And he's teaching me how to speedrun Half-Life Alyx. So the three games right now that I've been taught are I Expect You to Die, The Under Presents, and now Half-Life Alyx. And so probably next week is when those videos will come out on YouTube.
Okay. So, lastly here, in closing, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the world at large? Anybody that could happen upon this video at random? Anything you would like to say at all? Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, sure. I've got a couple of things. First and foremost, give the VR community a shot. I know, like, there's a lot of drama on Twitter and things like that. It's like, oh, is VR dead? Is VR worth it, or things like that? I truly believe that if us as like, being the VR creators of, Twitch and YouTube, we have got to stop calling VR a niche and start acting like it is a mainstream thing, because that's the only way we're going to get attention, is stop treating VR like it's something small, because if we keep saying it's small, then, developers, AAA companies, and, potential sponsors or things like that, they're going to see that, oh, there's people already in the community calling it small. Let's not,
Yeah.
do that. And that's one of my biggest things that I even contemplated making a video about myself, but I guess I'll just splurge on that here a little bit. But that's one thing that I think we as a VR community need to understand in order to grow. Secondly, I am, like I said, the VR speedrunner. So for whoever's watching this, if I'm looking for sponsors, partnerships, anything of that nature, if you want to invest in me and my content, I'm open. My DMs are open.
Right on,
And
right on.
I will be the first of, I guess you can say, quote unquote, our kind in the YouTube and Twitch space.
Okay, that's perfect. That's actually a great send off. That tells exactly what's going on. So, also before I cut off here, I meant to ask you.
Sure.
So you're saying that the next time that you're going to be streaming is when? Just so we're clear,
tomorrow.
everybody. Tomorrow at what time?
Tomorrow, 7.
Tomorrow at 7.
So same time. Same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we'll be finishing up Half-Life Alyx.
Perfect. Okay, so is that EST or I'm sorry?
Central.
Central.
So it's
okay.
the same time as when
Today.
this started today.
So yeah, the time that you showed up for this stream today, show up tomorrow to Brady Litzinger and watch some Half-Life Alyx speedrunning. So beyond that, as per tradition, I'm gonna let you specifically guide the raid. So who are you raiding today there?
All right, I'm pulling up Twitch and our stream team right now. See what we got.
Okay, so in the meantime, Arcanon says tell him that Arcanon is the best Pokemon.
Easy choice for me. Live open mic. You ever heard of him?
I can't say that I have. Give me one moment.
He is the community manager. He is a fellow streamer that I watch, as well as a community manager for 3 Pound Games. And he was actually the person that kicked off the speedrun challenge for Space Dragons.
Okay,
and
so
he's currently streaming Lawn right now. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't have the link in front of me.
I got you. Got it.
Got it.
There you go.
And about what you commented earlier, Red Phazon said he's right. It's not a niche. It's non-existent, but it will now grow over time. Count on it. So yeah, got some hopefuls in the chat. Let's do it. Sounds great. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid on over there. Spam your raid emotes. Show them some love. This is you said the guy that was helping you, right?
So no, this is the guy I've just been watching and keeping up with, and he's the community manager for 3 Pound Games, which is the company that put on the speedrun challenge for Space Dragons.
Awesome. Okay, good deal. So we're gonna
he runs his own content. He does a bunch of VR variety content.
Right. So let's see what he's about. And Brady, thanks again for coming in. It's been awesome talking with you, buddy. And
yeah. And I thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime. And we'll hope to see you around.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will. Everybody head over there, throw this dude a follow. He's a good chap. So we're gonna raid all. So y'all have a good night. 3, 2, 1. Live open mic.